Dad here. Yeah, I'm kind of lost, aren't I? Here we go. Let's get this party started. Don't count it in. You need a hand. I can show you a bit. I can help. I got two strong arms. I can help. It sure do me good. Oh, here we go. Lunch with Dad. A little late at night. Yeah, what am I doing? I'm here on a Tuesday night. Yeah, it's Tuesday, right? Tuesday night. I thought it'd be fun just to sit back, relax, and talk about all of the announcements that were made this weekend at the D23 Expo. There were a whole bunch of announcements, a whole bunch of exciting stuff that happened this weekend. And I thought it'd be really cool to just take a few minutes and see what you thought about it and let you give me feedback. I'll tell you what I think, and we'll just relax and kind of an unstructured evening with Dad, just chatting about all the new announcement out of the D23 Expo. So last Friday, on Lunch with Dad, I went and I kind of predicted what I expected out of the announcements for this week. And I've got my predictions written down right here. And I thought I'd just go through them and see how I did. Yeah, this is all about me tonight. No, I'm just kidding. I really do want to know what you think, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But let's just see how I did the other day. So I said there were three categories. The first one is I believe this is going to happen. And I started out with minivans, right about that one. Gondolas, right about that one. New attractions, Guardian of the Galaxy for Ellen, right about that one. New ride in France, Ratatouille, right about that one. Surprise, Paint the Night comes to the Magic Kingdom. No, it actually went over to California Adventure. Right, but wrong park. New name for Disney Hollywood Studios. I still don't have a clue what they're waiting for on that one. Star Wars Land and Toy Story updates, right about those. So, been pretty good so far. Maybes. Tron ride for Tomorrowland Speedway. No, I said, and even said that. It's not going to go to Tomorrowland Speedway. It's going to go in Tomorrowland, but not Tomorrowland Speedway. I was right about that. Let's see. Tomorrowland Refresh. They didn't announce that, but I think that'll happen. Indiana Stunt Show closing. Indiana Jones Stunt Show closing. Not announced, but probably going to happen. And I even said that. That won't be announced, but it's probably going to happen. One Man Dreams closing. Again, I said not announced, but it's probably going to happen. Expedition Everest will close to fix the Yeti. Probably going to be announced. Not going to happen. And I said maybe Brazil is announced. It wasn't announced. And they said there were going to be some more updates coming for Epcot, so we'll see how that goes. Not a chance of happening. Rivers of Light being canceled. Not happening. Zootopia Land coming to Animal Kingdom. Not happening. Spider-Man replacing Great Movie Ride. I said that's not happening, but it's going to be a Mickey ride. I was right about that. Marvel Park announced it as the fifth Walt Disney World park. Didn't happen. And this one I got totally wrong. Star Wars Hotel. They did announce it. I'm shocked. Disney fixes their computer problems. No, that's never going to happen. Broadway style show for Frontierland. That wasn't announced. There is something new going into Main Street, but not anything in Frontierland. Johnny Depp spends 3 days a week on Pirates of the Caribbean to repay Disney for the movie flops. Well, that one was just made up. But overall, I did pretty good. I got most of them right. So let's just go through what was announced step by step and see what is coming. I mean, it's pretty exciting. There's lots of exciting stuff. So let's just kick it off. Let me see if I can get this set up. Here we go. All right, push this button and then push that button so I can see what's going on and move that. And here we go. So the first announcement that came out was the Star Wars Land, the new Star Wars Land. We knew it was coming. We've seen already under construction, but they kind of really went into depth about what's going into Star Wars Land. And the ride is going to be one of the rides, two rides. One of the rides is going to be a Millennium Falcon ride. So you can ride the Millennium Falcon, and surely there's going to be trouble involved, and it's just going to be, it's kind of, don't know exactly how it's going to work. My guess, it's going to be a lot like the current Star Tours. It'll be some kind of simulator ride. That's kind of what they made it look like. Oh, by the way, the land is going to be called Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. That's going to be what the land is called. So we've got the Star Wars ride, the two rides, and then they're also going to have a cantina, like the old cantina scene in the first movie. They're going to have a cantina, and one of the things in the cantina is going to be a DJ. And the DJ, they made a big deal out of this. He's going to look very familiar. It's going to be Rex, the pilot from the old Star Tours. And surely he won't, nothing bad's going to happen with that, right? All right, so that's the first ride. The first thing they announced was Star Wars Land coming in 2019, sometime in 2019. We don't know exactly when. They did say that Disneyland was going to open first, and then Disney World. So sometime in 2019, Star Wars Land is going to open. So are you excited about Star Wars Land? What have you heard about it? Just interesting. They talked about a lot of the characters that were going to be roaming around. It was really an interesting discussion. BB-8's going to be there. Just all kinds of characters that will be there in the new Star Wars Land, opening in 2019. My guess will be October, November 2019. They did make a big deal that they want to get all of this stuff open by 2021 for the big anniversary celebration, the 50th anniversary. Wow, that's hard to believe, 50 years. But they're trying to get a whole bunch of stuff done. They didn't make such a big deal about it, about the Star Wars. By the way, that is in Disney Hollywood Studios, right where we see the construction today. No surprise there. But no real surprises about that. So that was the first thing they announced. Then we went on to let's go back to this, the Minnie and Mickey ride. This is kind of one of those that's happy and sad. They are going to close the Great Movie Ride. The Great Movie Ride is going to close August the 13th for this new ride called Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railroad. And it's going to be Goofy's driving the train, and you hop in the train, and you go through these Mickey and Minnie shorts. And they talked about it being a 3D experience where you don't have to wear the 3D glasses. They called it 2.5D, but it's going to be a real kind of high-tech 3D experience. My guess, it's going to be very much like the track. They're going to use the same track from the Great Movie Ride. They're just going to change it to where the scenes are kind of, you'll have that same thing, that same carrier you ride in through the ride. I could be wrong. It could put down a track and make it a mini roller coaster, but I don't know. We'll see about that. But Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railroad. Wow, it's late, and my tongue is not working tonight. Anyway, so I forgot to look. Okay, so Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railroad. Are you sad? I know somebody has already written me saying, I had a fast pass for September 25th. What am I supposed to do with that? So are you sad to see the Great Movie Ride go, or are you happy and looking forward to the Mickey and Minnie ride? I'd love to know what you think about it. Does it sound cool? It kind of sounds cool to me. But don't have any idea when it'll be open. My guess is it will be open sometime in 2018. It usually doesn't take them too long. The concept's already there. If they're closing the Great Movie Ride, they're ready to start construction. So they'll have to tear down, clean out, and put the new ride in, a year to 18 months, probably either late 2018, early 2019. And if they really hurry, it could be early 2018. Who knows? Disney Hollywood Studios needs more stuff, obviously. They've closed the whole the back half of the park, and it still take almost a full day to do the park, but they need to get something open. So my guess is they won't take a long time to get this open. I just looked down at my questions, and Beth asked what date I predicted for Toy Story Land. We'll get to that in a minute because that is something that did come out. So that's part of what we'll talk about in just a couple minutes. So here we go. Next was the announcement about Ratatouille, Epcot. There were a bunch of, a few announcements about Epcot, but Disney made a big deal about they are going to make major changes to Epcot just because it needs an upgrade. It needs an update, and there's going to be a lot of changes to Epcot. So over the next few months, you can expect to see a lot of new announcements coming out about Epcot. But there were 3, I think, on Saturday. The first one was the Ratatouille ride. It's going to be Remy Ratatouille, based on the movie ride. It sounded like kind of a one of those roller coaster, not necessarily a roller coaster, but fast-moving, fast-paced ride through the story of Ratatouille, the Remy story, the Ratatouille story. There weren't a lot of details. It's just that it's going to be built in France. It's going to be backed by the Eiffel Tower. And if you've followed any of the blogs, you've seen kind of the footprint that wraps around the back of the France area. So it will be interesting to see what comes out of that. I don't think there's an opening date on that yet. They were talking about all of these Epcot updates were going to be done by 2021. So this is one we don't know when they're going to start. But since they've already filed some of the permits, I see this one going pretty quick and coming up pretty quick. So again, 18 months, 2 years, we'll be able to see the Ratatouille ride. Next came the big announcement of the day, the one everybody was waiting for and surprised absolutely nobody, the Guardians of the Galaxy. They didn't actually say it's going into Ellen's Energy Adventure. But just look at that picture. What building is that? It's the universe of energy. Duh. It's going into the Ellen's Energy Adventure. So, Guardians of the Galaxy, they said it'll be an indoor roller coaster, and it is going into Ellen's. Kind of the backstory was really kind of cute. They talked about how Peter Quill had once come to Epcot as a boy, and that's what has triggered the Guardians having to come back to Epcot now. So you can see the picture of Groot standing out in front, welcoming guests. This is one I just can't wait. I don't know really kind of what this has to do. Well, it is kind of future world stuff. I think it belongs more in Tomorrowland, but it's going to be cool, so who really cares, right? So Guardians of the Galaxy going into there at Ellen's Energy Adventure. They also announced that Mission Space is going to get an overhaul when it opens back up here in a few weeks, that the Green Line is going to be more kid-friendly. There will be kid activities for the Green Line. In fact, they weren't real specific about this. They kind of made it sound like they're going to set off a section of the ride, the vehicles that you get in. They're going to set off a section of those and make them specifically for kids. That's just what they made it sound like. I don't have any clue. They didn't tell us exactly what they meant, but they're going to be jobs that are kid-friendly, that kids can do. You know, the little jobs, the little buttons you have to push. They're going to make it more kid-friendly. So that's going to happen. That's a right-away thing. That's going to be whenever, Mission Space is closed for refurb and whenever it opens back up. That's going to be done. And along with that, they announced a new restaurant to be built over by Mission Space. It's going to be out of this world food. That was their quote, not mine. That's what they said. It's out of this world. It's going to be by the same group that does Via Napoli. So I think it's going to be a table service restaurant, kind of put in this this outer space atmosphere. You know, you see the picture there of the astronaut in outer space. So that's kind of what I expect out of this restaurant. Food type, no telling. I mean, it could be Tang and, where you have to pour it out. I know, I'm just kidding. And it floats away. That would be really cool if they could do zero gravity. Don't think Disney's quite there yet, but out of this world food at the new Mission Space restaurant. They did say there are a lot of other announcements coming down the road for Epcot. That this wasn't all, but it's just all they announced this weekend. So I would imagine that in the next year or two, we'll see a bunch of new things. They're really trying to update Epcot. They didn't announce the new Brazil. It didn't get announced. I don't know. It's just not going to happen. It may not be happening. But I know there's a lot of buzz about it. But with Disney, they may announce it tomorrow. So we'll just have to wait and see. All right, next announcement. Toy Story Land! Like we didn't know this one was coming. Yes, we knew this one was coming. All they really talked about here was the opening date. And drum roll, please. I'm banging on my laptop. Drum roll. Here we go. Toy Story Land is going to open in, wait for it, summer of 2018. Next summer. Toy Story Land will be open next summer. Now, summer, does that mean June? Does that mean August? Yeah, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. My guess is it'll be probably August. Probably they might open it before summer crowds hit. We'll just have to wait and see. But my guess is they'll wait till August and kind of work out the kinks in August as they're opening it up and then move on into the fall. So, but I could be totally wrong. It might be ready to go in June. We'll have to see. You've already seen pictures of the track. I know on our WDW magazine cover this month, we had a picture, a helicopter picture of the track there at Toy Story Land for the Magic Kingdom. But there we go. Summer of 2018. Are you excited? I know a lot of people already planning their trips. I know I am. Next summer, I'll be there. All right. So the next thing that was announced, now we move over to the Magic Kingdom. Tron roller coasters. Yay, Tron roller coasters are coming. I know a lot of people were saying that it's going to go in where the Tomorrowland Speedway is. And it's not. Tomorrowland Speedway, as you can see from the picture, is right there. They didn't actually say it was going to get updated, but it's going to get an update. And Tron will be right there beside Space Mountain. Pretty cool looking. Don't know what this building is over here. I don't know what this building is. It may just be the entrance to the Tron motorcycles. But they're kind of going to be intertwined together. So that's going to be pretty cool. All right. So the other big announcement for the Magic Kingdom was the new theater that they're going to build on Main Street. There wasn't a lot of detail here. It was just, this is a theater based on the Willis Theater, which was in Kansas City in the 1920s. Something that Walt would have gone by on a regular basis. And so there's going to be some kind of show on Main Street in this theater. So details to come. The Magic Kingdom announcements weren't very date sensitive, time sensitive. All we know is they're going to be there by 2021 for the 50th anniversary. So things to look forward to kind of in the future. Some of these kind of announcements I'm a little bit leery of. Sometimes when Disney makes these announcements a little farther out, and especially the next one I'm going to talk about, they don't actually come to pass. And so I think this theater will. I'm sure the Trons will. Pretty sure everything talked about so far will come to pass. However, here's the next one. The next one was the Star Wars Hotel. Now, that's just going to suck money right out of my billfold. It's just going to be like the bungalows at the Polynesian. Either I'm going to be slathering over them, slobbering over them, wanting to stay there, or I will just spend the money and go stay there. Now, the Star Wars Hotel, the reason I am a little bit leery of this is because of the way they described it. They described it as a project that's in progress, still in development. Well, still in development means you're not really ready to roll it out. You're not really ready to announce it. You're still developing it. We'll see. It may come to pass. What they described it as was really a totally different kind of experience, and something that I would see them putting somewhere other than Disney World, quite frankly, because they're talking about it being an immersive experience from the time you walk in, that you stay at the hotel. You do all of the activities at the hotel. You don't go to the parks. You stay in the hotel the whole time. That's the way they kind of described it. At least that's what I got out of what their description was. That if it's at Disney World, if it was in Star Wars land, you would go and you would spend your whole time in the hotel. And that really doesn't fit with what they want to do at the parks. So it's kind of like pulling people out of the parks and putting them in the hotel for the whole stay. And it kind of makes me wonder, why would you even put that in Orlando? Why wouldn't you put that somewhere like Vegas or Chicago or New York City or somewhere to draw people, as another destination? But I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. And I was wrong about this one. I said they wouldn't announce it, and they did. So we'll just have to wait and see on this one. There's a couple more. There will probably be Comic-Con is like this weekend, I think. There will probably be another Star Wars or two announcement, Guardians of the Galaxy, some kind of announcement at Comic-Con. I'm sure they held something back for Comic-Con. They did make the big announcement about the Adventurers Land in Disney's California Adventure. So that's not what they're going to announce. They've already announced that. So there will be some kind of announcement this weekend at Comic-Con. We'll just have to see. All right. So we've got three more. Two of them are pretty cool. The next one I'm just going to bounce through real quick because it's a hotel, and it's called the Riviera Hotel, or it's modeled after the Riviera Hotel. Not sure what Disney's going to call it. They might call it the Riviera. It's modeled after the Riviera Hotel in Las Vegas, and it's going to be between Epcot and Disney Hollywood Studios. It's going to be a DVC resort, new DVC resort. They call it the 15th DVC resort. So you'll be able to stay and see either Epcot or Hollywood Studios, or maybe even both, and be able to watch the fireworks right from your room. So that is coming down in the future. No date specified. All right, so let's get to the biggies, the last two. These are I think these may be my favorite announcements of the whole day. First was the gondolas. Yes, like we knew, the gondolas are coming. And it was pretty much, this is the wraps. You know how they wrap the monorails? This is the wraps they kind of have designed for the gondolas in the future. We're not exactly sure the shape of the vehicles. Oh, and they call it the Disney Skyliner. I'm going to quit calling it gondolas and start calling it the Disney Skyliner. It runs from the Art of Animation and Pop Century, right there where we've been talking about it right on the bridge. It runs up to the Caribbean Beach Resort, over to Hollywood Studios, and up to Epcot. So Epcot, Hollywood Studios, Caribbean Beach Resort, and the Pop Century. I do see that in the future, if this works pretty well, that they'll expand that to some other places. If they don't, it would be just nuts. But gondolas. I can't wait to ride a gondola. I'm sure the price of the Pop Century just went up $20 a night, but that's okay. I will, I can't wait to get on a gondola to go to Hollywood Studios and go to Epcot. That'll be pretty cool. All right, and so the last thing that was announced, minivans. I just love that. Mini, M-I-N-N-I-E, minivans. You see all these cars parked down by Disney Springs for this picture, and they are literally there now. They are actually using minivans. The last couple of days, people have been riding in minivans around the resort. What it does, it takes you from Disney, say a Disney hotel, to Disney Springs or to a park or to a different hotel. It's just inner Disney. It's not going to take you off of Disney property. But anywhere you want to go on Disney property, $20 to ride in a minivan. And that's just pretty cool. So minivans are already getting started. They're already testing them at a couple of the resorts. I think the Boardwalk area resorts, they're being tested over there. And they will be rolling out all around the resort over the next month. I think by the end of the month, they're supposed to be available pretty much all over the resort. So those were the announcements. So what do you think? Questions, comments? Stick them down in the comments, and we'll just go right through, and we'll see what you said. Mary says she thinks the minivans are a great idea. I do too. Lindsay, I'm really excited about the new mini Mickey ride. Won't really miss the great movie ride. Will you miss the great movie ride? I will a little bit. I kind of liked it. My wife is a big Gone with the Wind fan, and she just go in there and stare at some of the memorabilia. I kind of like the big black and white movie they played before you went in. Maureen says, I'm sad to see the great movie ride go. Lorene says, love the look of the Chinese theater. Not a big fan of the great movie ride. Ride is boring, good for a rest, and looking for something new there. One of the big things when they talked about that new Mickey Mini runaway train or whatever, runaway train wreck or whatever it was, when they were talking about it, this is the first attraction. I don't know if they can actually say that because you had Mickey's house and Minnie's house, but this is the first real attraction, real ride that featured Mickey. You had Mickey's Birthday Land, you had Mickey's house, Minnie's house, but you've never really had a ride that featured Mickey. So this is the first real ride that features Mickey. Pretty cool. It's about time. How long has Mickey been around? Long before Disney World started. Okay. Matthew Davis says Epcot definitely needs to be brought into the future. Yeah, they made a big deal about that, Matthew, that they were really going to spend a lot of time. They had the Imagineer that was leading the team for Epcot, and he was really talking a lot about some of the great new things that were coming. No details, but I think Epcot is going to get a total makeover. Animal Kingdom, you didn't hear any announcements about Animal Kingdom because Pandora is the update that Animal Kingdom got. Disney Hollywood Studios, Star Wars Land, you've got Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and Toy Story Land. That's a pretty big update. And then Magic Kingdom, Tron, but already had the new Fantasyland, updating a little bit on Main Street. And then Epcot it means a lot. Man, can we put something in, something back where Body Wars was? That poor pavilion has been some Wonders of Life pavilion. It's been sitting there for so long, just begging for something to go in there. Please do something in there. Anyway. All right, so Epcot is going to get a big makeover. Hopefully it'll be great. Lindsay says, I'm happy to hear Epcot is bringing in some new attractions. Yeah, the Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be cool. Yeah, you think the lines were long at Pandora. Ratatouille sounds awesome. Yeah, Lori says, was hoping for news of a nighttime parade at the Magic Kingdom. Me too. That just boggles my mind. I really expected them to announce that Paint the Night was coming. When they started talking about Paint the Night, I said, yes, Paint the Night is coming to California Adventure. What? Yeah, that was the real downer of the whole thing. That they didn't announce the nighttime parade for the Magic Kingdom. Hey, what if, and this is just me speculating, what if it's going to be a Star Wars or an adventure, Guardians of the Adventure or whatever. It's late and I'm tired. Captain America, Guardians of the Galaxy, Captain Adventure, who of all those guys? My brain is fried. All of those guys. Maybe it's going to be an adventurer's nighttime parade in the Magic Kingdom. They're going to announce it this week at Comic-Con. It won't happen, but that would be so cool. That would be so cool. Okay. John asks how far out. And by the way, if you got any questions, throw them up there. We don't have any. About through with this. If you want some, I might as well answer questions tonight. Lori says, John says, how far out could you book? If you wanted to go in 2021, could you reserve rooms? John, no, it's 499 days is the maximum length you can reserve rooms. And as just last month, the 2018 bookings came out. So the packages came out last month in June. It comes out June of every year, the next year's packages, and you can book 499 days in advance. So it's still a while before we can book our 2021 vacations. And believe me, most of us are going to be going in 2021. I will be there October 1, 2021. I guarantee you that. Unless the roof falls in or something. I am definitely planning to be there for the 50th celebration. All right. Ben says, we heard a rumor once of a new park that would feature many of the classic rides that are no more. Any hope? Ben, I don't see that. I really don't see any new parks on the horizon. They have so much room around the current parks that, like they're doing now, they can just add and expand the current parks. They're spending billions of dollars right now on the current parks. If they didn't announce a new park this year, they're not going to announce one. Because the only reason they'd announce a new park would be have it open in 2021 for the 50th celebration. And they didn't announce it, it's not going to happen. There will not be a new park at Walt Disney World. It's just not going to happen. I know that rumor's been floating around for years, but it just, Michael Eisner doesn't work there anymore. He was the driving force behind all the new parks. So I just don't see it happening. No, it's just not going to happen. Unless, I guess, if attendance doubled in the next 2 years, they might start thinking about it. But they're not even filling up the parks right now, and their attendance is actually slipping. I know this year attendance was down, not significantly, not like 10%, but 1.5% to 3%. So it's just not going to happen. And as long as they keep jacking the prices up, they're going to keep having slipping attendance. So we'll just have to see. But I do not foresee a fifth park. As much as I'd like to see it happen, but I don't foresee it happening. Okay. Vanessa asks, Electric Light Parade is ending in Disney World on 8/20. Maybe it will come back to Disney World this fall. Yeah, it's possible. I wish they'd tell us. Wouldn't it be nice if they just kind of told us what was going to happen? So people like me weren't saying, hey, let's make an adventurers parade and put it in at night. And, so it's, anyway, a lot of announcements. I'm really excited about a lot of this stuff. It's easy to complain about what they didn't do, but they announced 11 new major pieces for Walt Disney World. That's just incredible. It was huge announcements. Minivans, the gondolas, the new rides, the new hotels, just huge things. Great time. Probably the most active Disney has been at Disney World since Animal Kingdom opened. That was probably the last time there was this much construction going on around Walt Disney World. You just had the villas at the Wilderness Lodge open this week. You've got the new construction at the Caribbean Beach Resort, the Coronado Springs Resort, the new DVC Hotel, just all kinds of construction all over the place. Great upgrades, beautiful things, new restaurants. There's just a whole lot to be excited about over the next few years at Walt Disney World. I hope you're as excited as I am. I'm just like a kid in a candy shop. I sit here Saturday night listening. I had my earbuds in and I was listening to the presentation. And I was supposed to be working on my Bible class lesson for church Sunday. And, I'm sitting, okay, focus. I was taking notes on. I actually had to go back and re-listen to the presentation and take all my notes. Yeah, it was really interesting. Really, a lot going on. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed tonight. I know this has been kind of informal. I'll go through and look at your comments here in a few minutes, and if I need to respond to them, I'll be happy to. And I guess we'll see you on Friday for Lunch with Dad at noon Eastern on Friday. Be there. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.